Welcome to ParaPlan Desktop Session 3. Again, my name is Kyle, and in this session we're going to be talking about scheduling within ParaPlan and our scheduling canvas, which is our state-of-the-art solution allowing you to create and fine-tune the exact schedules that you need. And in Session 1, we talked about the building blocks that are used in scheduling, which are vehicles, drivers, and routes. And then in Session 2, we talked a little bit about scheduling on the fly in reservations, where you can manually assign a trip leg to a route from the reservation window, or press the gear icon for auto scheduling and let ParaPlan find the best route for that trip leg. So let's hop right into scheduling, and I'm going to select scheduling from the sidebar on the left, and what's immediately displayed is this week's dates that are available to view. You can also view next week's or last week's, today, yesterday, or tomorrow. You can also search by date. So the best way to get started with the introduction to scheduling is to kind of look at a blank canvas. So let's look at next Monday, and I'm going to load that up. And I'm going to make the screen a little bit bigger here. And this is our scheduling canvas. And the reason we call it the canvas is because it's very flexible, and it allows you to create the schedules that you want by dragging and dropping trips around. And we also have another view, which I'll show you here in a second, but you can slide the bottom portion up and back down and left and right. And here at the bottom of the scheduling canvas route view, on the left bottom is your list of open work, or all your rides that have yet to be scheduled to a route. And on the bottom right, this is your cancellation and no-show bin. So any future cancellations will show up in yellow in this box. And during the day of service or after the day of service, any no-shows will show up in this box and or assigned to the route that they were originally assigned to. So we'll get into that later as well. So this is the route view. This allows you to drag trips around from route to route. And the top headers of each of these give you quite a bit of information as well. So over here in the top right, this is Run C. It goes from 6 to 5, and it's on vehicle 2076, driven by driver Martin. Run B, and then Run A. This list is also displayed on the left. So as you can imagine, if you have 50 routes, this list will get quite large. You can hide certain routes, show certain routes, and ones that are actively being viewed on the scheduling canvas are a little bit brighter than the other ones that are not. So I'm going to go ahead and show all the routes. Now, let me show you how easy it is to schedule rides in ParaPlan. I'm going to do this manually just as an example. So I'm going to take this first trip, and assign it to Run A. I'm going to take this next trip and drag it up to Run B, and the next trip and put it on Run C. So all you do is you simply click and hold. So now I'm just manually assigning these rides to these routes. Now, how do I know if these schedules that I'm creating manually are feasible? Well, ParaPlan will tell you if they are. So let's have a look here at Run B. As you saw, I just dragged these two trips up here. One was Ian Finkel, going from his house on Ridgeville Lane to Friendship Industries, and then Kyle Smith going from his house to Friendship Industries as well. Now, I can probably see that picking up and then dropping off at Friendship and then going to pick up and drop off is probably not the most feasible way to do this. But if you want to try it, ParaPlan will tell you if this will work. So you simply go to the Verify button and then press Generate Time Projections, and ParaPlan immediately notifies you that, hey, there's an issue here. With the current setup, I'm going to be 6 minutes late to pick up Kyle Smith. So from there, you can adjust the order of these stops, so where you can do a pickup for Ian, a pickup for Kyle, and then test that out. And ParaPlan basically allows you to create the schedules you want and see if they're feasible, and then adjust accordingly. This is one mode of scheduling. This is semi-automated. There is another more semi-automated method, which I'm going to show you as well, plus completely automated. Now, besides dragging trips from the unscheduled bin onto a route, you can also drag trips from route to route. So let's say I notice that Roger Smith, for some reason, doesn't get along with driver Dove. I can immediately drag Roger to a different route. Now that is some basics of our route view. Let's do a little bit of scheduling in our dispatch view. So I'm going to select the dispatch view tab. And as you can see, this is a list of all the trips for the day. These are currently sorted by pickup time. And the ones that are in blue have already been assigned to a run, as you saw in the route view. And let's say I want to assign Derek to run number 3 or run C. I can select run C. And then immediately you will see it reflected right there in the route view. So if multiple users are in this scheduling canvas window on different PCs, these changes are reflected pretty much instantly. And another nice feature in the route view is if someone's in a wheelchair, their name, if you can see that, is in red. So you have some immediate visual clues on your clientele. Back to dispatch view. You can scroll down and see this entire list. You can sort by pickup locations, drop-off locations, and during the day this is a very informative screen because from the MDTs, as your drivers timestamp these trips, meaning I've picked up Roger, I've dropped off Roger, I picked up Ian, I picked up Dorian, those timestamps are immediately reflected within 5 seconds back here on the dispatch view. So you can imagine as your day progresses and Roger at the top there gets picked up, the timestamp comes in and he changes color. And he's green, you now know that he's on the bus. Once Roger's dropped off, he turns red and you know that that trip is done. So that's more of a during the day actual dispatching procedure, but for scheduling, this view is also very helpful due to the filter power of the dispatch view. So let's have a look. I'm going to filter on pickup location, and I want to find everyone that's being picked up at Friendship. And Friendship is a location that they do a lot of service at. So here I can see everybody that is coming home from Friendship Industries in the afternoon. So in the dispatch view, I can hold down Control and select multiple trips and then assign them to the run of my choice automatically. You can also reassign trips, and everything is reflected right back in the route view. You can stretch that out to see multiple runs here. And notice how some of these changes I'm making, ParaPlan is flagging as invalid, but that's something you can rectify with the verify feature. Now let's just say, for instance, that you don't really like how these manual schedules are turning out and you would like to see what ParaPlan would do when scheduling the entire day on its own. So let's quickly unschedule all these rides. We'll go to dispatch view. We'll remove our filter so we can view all the rides. And we will select all of them by hitting Control A, and I will unschedule all the rides. And then I will go back to the route view and I will make these a little bit more viewable. And notice how Run B only goes from 6 to 12:30. Let's say I do want Run B to continue through the afternoon, but I have to add another driver because Kite has to get off at 12:30. So let's go ahead and run another leg or segment of Run B. So I'm going to hit Add Route. And we're going to add Run B. And Run B is going to go from 1 p.m. until 7 p.m. on the same vehicle, which would be 2073. And with a new driver that can work in the afternoon, which will be Hale. So I'm going to add that route. So now note, I have Run A, I have Run B from 6 to 12:30, then I have Run B from 1 to 7 with a different driver, and Run C. So to see how ParaPlan will schedule all of these, all you have to do is press the Auto Schedule button right here on the Unscheduled bin. So I'm going to press that and then ParaPlan is going to use its algorithm to generate efficient schedules automatically for you. So now it's done. Notice this is a small subset, but it's scheduled fairly quickly. And notice how, looking at these split routes, it put morning rides on the morning run and afternoon rides on the afternoon run. Now notice that after the batch scheduling, we still have some open work or unscheduled rides that ParaPlan could not fit on the existing route setup. So now you have a few choices. You can go into admin and loosen your routing parameters and try again. You can add another route. You could try to manually squeeze these rides onto your drivers that you know can maybe make things happen. You can use the verify feature that I've showed you before to kind of see if being a little bit late is okay. You can open up a map view of any route. And with this view, kind of look at what times certain drivers are at certain locations compared to these unscheduled rides and make your best guess possible. And ParaPlan will help you do that using the verify feature as well. Alright, now let's close this day down in the future and let's open up today. So I'm going to close that down and then I'm going to click today. So we're going to have a look at this so we can talk about single trip auto scheduling and our callback module feature. So here's today. And I'm going to adjust this a little bit so we can see it a little bit better. And as we can see, we just had a no-show be recorded. And let's go ahead and have a look at the dispatch view so you can kind of see what's going on during the day. These are all the rides that have been dropped off already. Here's a few that are currently on the bus that are in green. So you can kind of see how you can manage the day effectively using the dispatch view. Then back to the route view. Let's say, for instance, you have this last minute trip from Eddie Gates and you want to add it on to your existing schedules and you want to see where it will best fit. So ParaPlan will let you do that by using a feature called our right-click auto schedule. So if you right-click any ride, you get a context menu of many different options. You can cancel the ride, no-show the ride, look at the details of that trip, or even press auto schedule. And when you do that, that loads a unique new module that gives you options. So similar to session 2, when we were talking about reservations, ParaPlan would automatically assign the trip to the best route available. But with this feature inside of our scheduling canvas, you can pick which run you want. So ParaPlan analyzed the existing schedules and said, okay, the best fit for this trip is run B because it only adds 21.7 minutes to that route. Another feasible solution would be run A, but it adds 30.7 minutes to that route. So if you select run B, it will show you that actual route and where that trip fits. It's in gray. Or you can look at run A and it will tell you where it fits in that one. So I'm going to go ahead and add it to run B and say insert trip. And now Eddie is on run B. There he is. Now let's have a look at our callbacks feature. So as you recall in session 2, you can designate a return ride as a callback, and ParaPlan will never let you leave a rider out in the field. So to see what trips you still are waiting on for them to call you back, you press the callbacks link right here on the left side of the scheduling canvas. And in our module here, you see that we have 2 rides that we're waiting on. So let's say Susan Ham is now done at the Forbes Center and she calls in and she's ready to get picked up. So you select her ride. Current time is 4:05 p.m. You have some options of assigning it right now if you want to. You can assign it to the original route it was on, or you can assign it to a particular run. Or what I prefer, the best option is merely activate that trip and then, as I showed you previously, do a right-click auto schedule on it. And then ParaPlan will find the best feasible route for that ride. So let's go ahead and assign that trip to run B as well. And one final thing I wanted to show you here on this day for this example is our paper manifests. ParaPlan comes with a lot of paper manifests. If for some reason you need to print one, you can. So just press print on that particular run and select PDF. And then ParaPlan will automatically generate a paper manifest for it. There are several different to choose from if you happen to need them for whatever reason. In addition to the scheduling techniques I've already shown you, there's one more technique that a lot of our customers use, which is called building from previous. So typically, anywhere between 30 to 50% of your rides are recurring or subscriptions, and you can basically use their previous route assignments and times every week on the same route if you want to. So let's say you were very happy with how the runs went on this particular day. So that's this Friday. So let's say we want to make next Friday pretty much look exactly like this, except all the single day rides we're going to auto schedule or manually assign ourselves. So how you do that is you will go to build a day, and I have already built next Friday, but I'm just showing you this as an example. If we were getting ready to build the day, meaning just make it active for scheduling, we can select build from previous options below it and build it from a week previous, which is today, and copy the route structure, the driver assignments, and everything. So we basically will take any of the rides that went today and assign them to the same route next Friday if they go that next Friday. So once you do that, then you're already going to have a certain number of your rides already pre-scheduled. Then with the remaining that are left in the unscheduled bin, you can auto-schedule them, you can manually assign them, or right-click auto-schedule them to complete your finished schedules. So that is ParaPlan's scheduling and the scheduling canvas in a nutshell. And stay tuned for session 4, which is billing and reporting.